Hey traders, it's Ned Robinson here from Digital Assets Trading Academy, and I wanted to go over a new indicator that I've been working on. So this indicator is for TradingView, which is my main trading platform these days. So as you can see right now, I have a standard volume profile on, which is set to the daily session. So you need to be a pro user or better to get the volume profile. It's pretty cool though, and it works well. It may not have all the features as some more sophisticated market profile indicators on other platforms like Market Delta or NinjaTrader, but it gets the job done. And so you can see here, it shows a profile of the volume for the day, and the magenta areas show the value area, right? And so this is very standard market profile where you're trading the value area and you're looking for extensions above and below as price probes to find the equilibrium point. And so this is the micro euro futures contract. So you can see how price goes above the value, the developing value area, and then comes back down. You can make some nice coinage off this. It's actually a really great way to trade. I have this set to 30-minute bars, as recommended by the infamous Jim Dalton, and I'll show you some things I've added to the bars as well to help make trading a little bit easier. So the flowing magenta lines is the developing value area. Now, one thing TradingView doesn't do, it doesn't give you access to this data, even up here where you could see the parameters and the values or programmatically. So what I do at the end of every day, I draw horizontal rays at the top and bottom of the value area. So it's the only piece of the key numerical data that I couldn't programmatically get to, but it's, it's not too bad. So without going into market profile too much, let me go into the key levels and the indicator that I've created. All the parameters on this indicator pretty much are customizable. Okay, so these are key market profile numerical values, and they create a roadmap for your trading. And you should look at the values the previous day, where we are today, and always as a reference where we are in terms of value. So let's look at today's open. Okay, so these yellow dots represent the price at the open of the session. There are some options I've added where you can do it by when trading starts, which is about, for most futures, it's 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. But there is also quite a lot to be said for using the session or the daily open itself as a reference point. So that's what these yellow dots are. So we can see where price opened here, and then price opened up right here. Okay, if you do want to see the session open, let's trade session open. So you could set these parameters here. So you could set your trading session, and the TradingView servers are set for Central Time. So that's why I have this at 8:30. And I've set it so for, of course this is customizable, but here I've set it to be a solid, somewhat thick yellow line. And so it starts at the session open at 6:30, which is my equivalent Pacific time, and then it runs to the end of the day at approximately 1:30. And you'll see that on every day. So you have a great reference and some really interesting activity around the trading session open. So today it was kind of in the middle, but you could see yesterday, or 2 days ago now, it actually, the market opened and then just blasted off, and we had a trend day 2 days ago now, so that was Monday. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, another really important levels are your previous day's high, your previous day low, and also your previous day open, right? So here are the yellow dots, and then the next day they become orange dots. Again, all customizable, but it gives you a good reference point to see where we're trading in relation to the previous day's opening, the previous day's high, and the previous day's low. Okay, so here we could see that price looks like it wants to go up and hit the previous day's high, which is here. I actually was in this trade for most of the day, and then I got out around here as the trading session ended and the day closed, but price kept moving up. So so you can see this was yesterday's value area, and now we're exploring price higher again. And I would say it's a pretty good bet that at some point during the night we're going to hit the previous day's high. Okay. All right, let's, so we're getting a little busy here, but let's keep going. Then we want to see what the session low and the session high are. Okay, so this is developing from the opening of the session again at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. And so this actually will change as the session progresses. And then even when the session is over, I carry these levels forward until the start of the next session. So you have a really good reference on what the high and lows were made during your trading session. Okay, continuing on. Session halfback. This is another really critical piece of information, especially as you're trading in the session. And I will zoom in here so you can see here. It didn't really act as support and resistance until it got to here. But if you go on previous days, you could gain a lot of information what happens when price gets to halfback, if it ever gets there. Okay, so more key pieces of information. All right, and let's see, we got a few more. Okay, then I started putting some markers on the bars, 30-minute bars. Sometimes you want to drop down to a shorter time frame to get more information, but it's really the 30-minute bar that is the most optimal to trade with, especially with market profile. So I added these indicators on the candles themselves. And so the first one would be halfback, right? So if you wanted to enter a trade, say on this candle here, you wanted to enter, you could use the guideposts on these bars to determine what the next best, where to possibly enter or exit your trade. And let's see, they're a little hard to see at the moment. Not sure why that is, but anyway, you need to, oh, I know why. Okay, because right, we only turned on the halfback. Okay, so let's go, let's turn on. So I programmed in 25% and a 75% level as well. And that works out nicely. And so that's what I was looking for. So you could actually see on the bar, if you wanted to, if price is moving quickly, you could see a reference point on the previous candle, possibly where you could get in and take a trade. And then because some people want to use maybe a fib, there's really not much difference, but you have this checkbox here, and so you could turn those candles into fib levels. So it's the 618 and the 723, whatever it is, right? So so that's definitely a user preference. For me, I just keep it at 25 and 75. They're so close anyway, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. And that's pretty cool. So that's it. There's actually one more feature which I personally don't use, but I put it in for completeness, which you could show the sessions, right? So you come here and you can shade, if this helps you when you're trading, I put this in there, just for you. So you could adjust those colors. And then that goes on the reference session. So it uses pre-trading session, and then the trading session. It uses these time parameters, so you could set up your time. It looks kind of cool, but the reason I don't like to use it is because while I'm in a trade, I find the background colors distracting. But that's why I made it a parameter. All right, so that ends the video. I wanted to just point out all the various features, and in videos to come, I'll talk about how you could actually use this to make money trading the eMicro Euro and the Micro Gold, which are really great, especially if you're a beginner trader. It's low risk. You're not going to make a lot on each contract, but it's low margin requirements, and you can give yourself a kind of a relaxed way to start day trading and work up. And once you're consistently pulling out, $30, $40, $50 a day on one contract, then you could start working with multiple contracts, and we'll get into that into the future. So thanks for listening, and talk to you soon.